Let's go. We're back with round 4 of the Junior Disc Golf World Championships in Emporia, Kansas. We find ourselves on moving day. This is the day that kids needed to make some moves up the leaderboard to see if they make it to Championship Saturday. So joining me again here, I have Daniel.
Hi, everybody.
So we're going to go through his round 4. He's back at Peter Pan, as we've been kind of talking over the course of these videos. Peter Pan has been one of his favorite courses, one of his courses that he knows pretty well because he played Monkey Island earlier in the year. So we're going to go through the video here. We're going to get going here in a few seconds. But before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been following the channel, everybody that's been supporting the kids throughout, not just this year, but even going back last year. So thank you, everybody. The kids are going to continue working, and let's go ahead and get started. So we're moving on to hole 1. I'm going to turn it over to the TD. He is going to go ahead and get the players announced, and then we'll go from there.
Good morning and welcome to day 4 of competition here at the 2025 PDGA Junior World Disc Golf Championships presented by Dynamic Discs. Currently, we're at the 9:24 tee time with our MJ10 division. And leading us off from Garden City, Kansas, Daniel Beatriz.
So we have Daniel starting it off here. How are you feeling going into this round 1, Daniel?
I feel a little nervous because it's the last round, and I have to shoot maybe a 7 down to go to Saturday. But I feel confident, and I believe in myself.
Nice. Yeah. That's something that we were talking about. I didn't want to tell you too much of where you were at, so I just wanted to make sure that you played your game, you were having fun, and going from there. So I did forget to get the starting lineup for this Brindley. I thought we were already walking after Daniel threw. I don't know. I was out of it for a little bit after he threw. So we have Nicola here again. This again was your doubles partner, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel was able to play with the same exact card that he played with on round 3. So that kind of helped you, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Just because you knew everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know everybody now, and so
There you go.
I don't have any. At least I have a little bit of nerves, but they went away after hole 2.
After hole 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little bit nervous, I think, like you said, off of the tee, because it looks like you threw the right disc, because that was the disc you've been throwing on this hole, but it looks like it just came out early and hit that tree, right?
Yeah.
So we have Joji throwing again here.
Good throw.
And I think that's everybody. So Daniel right here again, he hit the tree off the tee. The good thing was that you hit it but kicked a little bit to the right, huh, Daniel?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
I would have had to straddle out a lot.
Yeah, you would have probably would have been right behind it if it didn't kick to the right a little bit, huh? So yeah, I think that was a good choice. You mentioned to me coming up to that putt that you weren't comfortable standing straddle into the side because you felt like you might have early released it into the tree. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So outside of that, you got down on the knee. You got a little pitch up there to the basket within about 2 feet, and you were able to drop that in for your par. So far, so good. So moving on to hole 2, 372-foot par 4. So on this one, I can't remember. Were you throwing the same discs that you threw on round 2?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're going, that Z-Lite Nuke again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going for the same shot. You're trying to get some ante out to get some push to the left and get some more distance back to the right. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I hit the tree.
Yeah, it looks like you went 2 for 2 off the first 2 holes on hitting a tree. So,
Yeah.
luckily, again, just like on the first hole, this one kicked you to the left, so you weren't right behind it here. So now I think you left yourself maybe a little over 200 feet to the basket. So you were thinking, or no, I was thinking you should throw it mid range, but you were telling me
Throw a destroyer that holds the turn longer
or holds that fade, right?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to go push back to the right. So I think that was the best choice. I think if you would have gone the mid range, depending on if it was the Mako, you might have gone too far or just been short. But you were just right outside the circle, and as you saw there, you hit a really good birdie. Looks like you were pretty hyped up after that putt, huh?
Yeah.
So after that first putt, after that birdie you were mentioning off the tee on hole 1, you were a lot more comfortable than after that putt, right?
And here it's 279 foot hole.
297.
Oh yeah, 297.
Par 3. So this one again, you're just trying to play what are you trying to do here?
Get it as close as. So just try to get it as close to the basket as you can right here.
So you're trying to go around the left of this tree?
Yeah, but then my field just got I got it 2 nose high.
2 nose up and 2 high, yeah. So it kind of came up high. So you didn't get as much distance as you wanted, but you were still outside the circle, maybe 20 feet or so. So it still wasn't a bad spot, right? Because from here, I think you're about to do just a jump putt to get it up to the basket as close as you can. So not bad at all. So
good, Daniel.
I know with you playing with this card, you were pretty comfortable. How confident were you coming into this round on shooting, hopefully like a -6 or -7? Were you feeling like you could do it?
Yeah, I was feeling like I could do it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I think round 3, from round 3, you shooting your first under par round, I think that kind of gave you a big boost of confidence going into to round 4, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to hole 4, we're at 387 feet, par 4. This one, you're going with the same disc choice, I think, as round 2.
Yeah.
And what were you trying to do there?
I was trying to put a little more ante so it would hold the turn and so I would get past that tree.
Yeah.
But then I just let it go way too much hyzer.
Yeah. So it came out more flat and a little bit nose up and hyzered out. So it kind of put us in a spot where we didn't really practice from, huh?
Nice.
Yeah.
Because typically we were practicing from the left of the fairway looking straight at the basket or from the right of the fairway looking straight at the basket like in round 2. So it looks like you had gone with one of your zones. Do you remember what that red zone was? Was that a soft zone OS, wasn't it?
Yeah, soft zone OS.
Yeah, so on that one, you wanted to throw, I think, your white zone, just your regular zone, right?
Yeah.
That soft zone, and I kind of gave you the other option of maybe try your red zone because
Take your time.
I was thinking if you accidentally put ante on it, at least the zone OS would have fought back to the right a little harder, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was you threw it correctly, though. You threw it flat, you swung it out a little bit, so you were running that little creek area to the left, which was an OB, but because of the stability of the disc, you were able to fight back to the right. And you gave yourself a decent look at a birdie because that would have been your birdie putt.
Yeah, because it's par 4.
Yeah, it's a par 4, but you were able to get out of there with a 4, so a par, so not bad at all. So you're still -1 through 4 holes, so that's good. On this one, you threw a much better shot than on round 2.
Yeah, I threw my nuke,
Good.
but on the first round, I too much hyzer and it almost went OB.
Yeah, you got pretty close, didn't you?
And then my up was very bad, so I went right back to the bushes, and then I laid up for my bogey.
Yeah. So this round you didn't even bring that OB into play. You pushed the disc a little bit more to the left with a little either. I can't remember if it came out with a little bit of ante or just more flat, but farther to the left, so it skipped to the right, but it didn't bring that OB into play. So you just had a straight shot at the basket on your approach, right?
I'm switching up my disc on this hole. Last time I threw my cicada, now I'm throwing my Gorgon.
And your Gorgon is a little bit more flippy than your cicada, right?
Yeah, and then I just put way too much ante on it.
Yeah, you did it. You did, but luckily you didn't bring those pine trees into play on the left, right? Because if you would have hit one of those, hopefully you dropped to the right of them, so you had a clean look at the basket. But yeah, you did give it some ante, but it did fight out of it, and it got you right inside or right outside the circle. Do you know why you didn't want to go with the normal putt there and you went kind of with the
Yeah,
straddle?
because I was like next to the tree. If I did my normal putt, I'm hitting the tree with my hand.
You think you were going to hit it with your hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying that because I asked, go ahead and put it normal, and you mentioned that it didn't feel comfortable because you thought you might hit your hand on the tree. But
yeah,
outside of that, I mean, that's all right. You got out of hole 6 with a par, so nothing wrong there. So this is probably the coolest hole, huh?
Yeah.
Monkey Island at Peter Pan, probably the most iconic hole. I think I mentioned that in round 2. It's 185-foot par 3. So this one plays as an island, as I mentioned before. So you have to land inside of the rock wall, because if you are short or you skip and go over the rock wall or you just don't make it, you have to go to the drop zone. So I think first round you early released your tank, right?
Yeah, I went a couple feet past, but I didn't make my putt.
Yeah, I think you were outside the circle round 2. So this time you're changing your disc, it looks like, right?
Yeah, I'm throwing my rhino, right?
Rhino, yeah, I think it's that not crystal, but just that clear tie-dye rhino. So it looks like you marked your lie, and looks like Nicholas putting out here. I think he was putting for birdie too, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He almost aced it here.
Yeah, I think he got pretty close. So he got out of there with the birdie. You're taking your time here to putt out for your birdie. I think Joji, who's right behind the basket on this one, he threw a good throw, but it hit that opening right there, that opening on the rock wall, and he was just out of bounds by what, like
2 feet?
2 feet, yeah. So he would have been safe if the rock wall would have been there. So that takes us to hole 8, 226-foot par 3. So this one again is just pretty much just dead center, right?
Yeah.
Just from the tee box, you're just looking right at the basket. So
yeah,
you're still sticking with your cicada, right? Yeah. So second round, excuse me, you were short, right? Because it hit one of the trees.
Yeah,
or
by
branches.
Maybe by 50 feet.
Something, yeah, maybe around there. So this time, I thought you had a good throw. Came out more nose up. It didn't really get the turn you wanted, but you did give yourself at least a look at this one. Now, on this one, I can't remember, did I tell you to kind of give it a soft bid?
No, you told me to slay it up.
Oh, yeah, but did you go for it?
Yeah, I went for it.
In your head, you were like, I need to get this one?
Yeah, because I was tied with
Brindley at this point, yeah.
Yeah, and Nicola.
And Nicola at -1, yeah. So you were trying to win your card, right? At least,
yeah.
So that's good. So that takes us to hole 9, 220-foot par 3, and I think this is partly my fault, because I know warming up, going into round 4, I had you throw a couple of backhands, if you remember.
Yeah.
And how were you feeling with your backhand when you were warming up?
I was feeling good, but when I threw my tank, one of them, I just grip locked it right into the trees.
Yeah, so after I saw that, I kind of, in my head, I was like, I don't know if he should throw a backhand on this one. So we ended up going with a different disc off the tee on this one. Do you remember what that?
It was the Crave.
The Crave, and that one I thought was a little bit more flippy than your cicada, right? But I think you just threw it nose up with hyzer. Yeah. So looking back at it, I mean, we can't dwell on the past, right? But I probably should have let you throw in a backhand, because you were wanting to throw a backhand when we came to hole 9.
Yeah.
And since you were already warmed up from throwing, from putting, I should have let you, because you would have, even if you grip locked like your zone or your zone OS, it would have fought back enough where you probably would have landed middle of the fairway on the right, and it would have gave you 100-foot approach where you probably would have parred it. So that was my fault. But I know that after this hole, I felt like I was going to lose you a little bit, because you kind of got upset, huh?
Yeah.
Because you knew where you were at. You were counting your strokes, and you knew where they were at, didn't you? Yeah, the only thing I just didn't tell you at any one of these rounds is where everybody else was at, because I didn't want you to, oh man, I got to push, and then that kind of affect your round, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of were in your head a little bit after that double bogey on hole 9, which that ended up taking your score from -3 to -1. But going into hole 10, I thought you had a great throw again. You were just a little bit farther to the right this round than you were in round 2. On that one, were you trying to go for it, or was that more of a layup for you?
It was more for a layup.
More for a layup, and that's just because you didn't want to bring that OB behind into play, right? Yeah, because if you do sail one and you cross that or just go over at your OB, so from looking at a possible birdie or par, then you could turn it into a bogey or double bogey, right? Yeah. So yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of get you back, focus, right? Yeah. I know you were a little bit upset because you knew you wanted to do as best as you possibly could this round. So that took us to hole 11. 215 foot par 3. So this time you're throwing the same disc, right?
The nucleus
round 2. Yeah, I think you just. What were we saying when we went up to the tee pad on this one?
Swing it out.
Almost like I told you, almost play catch with the volunteer over there, huh? Yeah, the spotter. So you threw it at him and then just hyzered right in front of him, and this one left you more of a wide open look right at the basket.
Yeah.
What happened, or what were you thinking right here? Because it looks like you jump putted and brought the trees on the right into play.
I was thinking not to like flip it over, but instead I just hyzered it, but I still hit the tree.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that happens when you jump putt, right? You put a little bit of ante, so it goes to the right. After we got out of that hole, one of the things you and I kind of were talking about, it was more just you were outside of the circle. It probably should have just been a normal putt, right?
Yeah.
So even if you missed it, you left yourself with a par. And after this one, that was your par putt. I know you were upset. And then at this point, I was trying to kind of calm you down. Your mom was talking to you a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
How were you feeling after this one, after taking? So you went double bogey on 9, or was that 10? And then you went par on 11. Or excuse me, it would have been double bogey on 9, par on 10, and then a bogey on 11. So that took your score back to even after starting -3.
Yeah.
How were you feeling?
I was feeling kind of mad, but I had to like chill. Or if I didn't chill, I would probably just go down.
Yeah, your round would have kind of derailed, right?
Yeah.
After you had a very good solid start. So this round, this is a pretty straight shot. So it looks like you're switching your disc from the second round. What were you throwing there?
My tank.
Your tank, yeah, and that's one of your more reliable ones. So is your Rhino,
Yeah.
but like I mentioned in that second round, I think your Rhino would have got there if it would have gotten a little bit more height off the tee, right? So this time you threw your tank with a little bit more height. It pushed to the left of the basket and just slid up behind it. And nice, you were able to get a birdie. Once you hit that birdie, I could tell in your face you're like, let's go, right?
Yeah.
And what almost happened with that putt on your birdie putt on 12? Do you remember?
No.
You remember when you putted? If you guys go back and rewind it, it looks like the disc is about to spit out left, and it kind of teetered on the rim of the basket. Remember? But it spun on the rim of the basket, didn't it? But it's still stuck. So moving on to hole 13, we have a 258 foot par 3. What were you doing on this one?
Trying to swing it out more to this way, so I would hyzer back right into the middle of the gap right there.
So you were trying to do the ante, right? And what disc was that you threw up the tee?
The nucleus,
No, I think it was your Thrasher, because that would have fought more to the right.
Oh, it was my Thrasher.
I think you just got it nose up, so didn't want to hold the turn as much, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, you were still out in the middle. You gave yourself an easy approach to the basket, and you were able to get out of there with a par.
Yeah.
Do you remember who you saw after this hole? Who saw you putt out?
Oh yeah, Smitty.
Yeah, so Smitty must have been Daniel's like good luck charm, because it seemed like that put you even in better spirits right after you had a chance to go over and talk to him, because he was watching, again, trying to watch as many of the Kansas juniors play as he possibly could. So he got to watch you putt out on 13, and he got to watch you on this throw, which just was smashed, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I got behind that tree again.
Yeah, so you weren't as behind it like you were round 2. You were a little bit more to the left, but you were a little bit farther back. So this one, I think, was just edge of the circle, right outside of the circle.
Yeah.
And bang, you had an awesome putt for birdie.
And on the tree right there, second round, when I landed right behind it, and there's poison ivy right there.
Yeah, I think Finley's dad said that was poison ivy or something. And once I know I told Daniel, just be close if you do, kind of go forward, don't put your hand out on it, because then you'll be itchy the rest around, right? Yeah. So this takes us to hole 15, which is a par 4, 361 feet. So this one, you're basically doing the same thing, right? Trying to swing out to the left to be in the open and have a straight approach.
But when I let it go, I just got it way too low.
Yeah, looks like you just threw it nose down, low. So you kind of left yourself in my opinion, kind of a difficult shot with these trees kind of growing in. How you can't really go too high up, because if you clip one of those, you're right behind them. So what are you doing here?
Just trying to throw it right down the middle, trying to curve it.
Yeah, so you laced one right down the middle. So you got some ante on it, which it held, but the stability of that disc made it fight back. What were you throwing? What was that blue disc?
My destroyer.
Yeah, I think is that Metal Flake, right?
Yeah, the Metal Flake destroyer.
Yeah, so you gave yourself a good chance at birdie here. And just hit the band. You mentioned something bothered you right before you were about to putt. What was it?
Something was in my eye going. It was like, I think it was like a piece of rock or a grass in my eye. So I'm like, so I couldn't really see.
Yeah, and I think after you did that, I was like, yeah, if that happened, just take a step back real quick, go back, and then focus back up, right? But outside of that, I mean, you still gave it a good bit. It lifted on you, hit top band. So the good thing was you were still able to get the par, right? Because you had the short throw off the tee, and you had a great approach up to the basket. So that takes us to hole 16, 240-foot par 3. So this one, there's not much OB in there. You really shouldn't bring it into play, right? Because that OB on the left was pretty far left.
And unless you just grip lock it.
Yeah, unless you grip lock it. Yeah, completely. Because the OB on the right should never be brought into play unless you grip lock it behind you. So you had a good throw there again. Another smash. What were you throwing there?
My Z-Like Nuke.
Z-Like Nuke. Yeah, so you went past the basket about 7 feet or so, maybe 10 feet. So you're giving yourself another birdie look. That was a birdie. It looks like. So that takes you back to -3. So after a great start at -3, then having kind of a 3-hole stretch where you took a double and a bogey to take you back to even to fight all the way back to -3. That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that takes us to hole 17. This was another one of the holes that was aced. I can't remember the kid's name. Was it William Larson?
Yeah, William Larson.
William, something like that. So he had a skip ace on this one. I think he swung out a backhand out to the right and almost and skipped it in. And Daniel almost does the same there. That was a sweet throw. Everybody on your card thought it was going in, didn't they?
Yeah, but then I went OB.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still muddy, and I thought it was going to stick if it hit the ground, but it did skip OB. The kids didn't really know. The good thing was there was a marshal there, and he explained the rules to them, and they did call you OB, right? Which was correct. You were OB, but after you took your meter, you still hit that big putt, right, to save your par. So that was awesome. So you ran that one in, grabbed it, and we moved on to our final hole. Your final hole on round 4 for Junior Worlds, which was a 268-foot par 3. This was another smash because I know there was a kid up on the up at the top by that dynamic band. Huh?
Yeah.
He's like, nice throw. You smashed that one. So yeah, I think you got a great throw off there. I wish you would have got a little bit more skip to the right. Got you a little closer. You could have gave it a bid. You're switching your disc here. It looks like you're putting with a red one. What is that?
That's my soft Omega, because if I threw my other one, that's maybe going past the basket and maybe going OB.
Yeah, so your black one's your ET, right? Your big bead?
Yeah.
ET putters. So you mentioned you wanted to putt with your soft one just in case, because if it hits the ground, it usually just sticks, right? Your soft one. So you were able to squeak out of there with a par, which was great. So after round 4, you finished -3. So that took your overall score for your 4 rounds altogether at +3, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
And that was your second round in a row that you shot under par. How were you feeling after the round?
I was feeling great, but I'm just kind of sad that I didn't make it to Saturday. But
yeah,
I have next year to depend on.
Yeah, we have next year to look forward to. We're going to do whatever we can to get you there, right? What we were talking about.
Yeah.
I know that you were really wanting to make it to Saturday this year, but you really fought hard. That first day, I think, is what kind of maybe put you back a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it was a decent round, we know what we need to do. And that's one of the things you and I talked about after this round, right? That how proud your mom and I were of how you played the final 2 days. And the biggest thing is just making sure that we're locked in from the first round all the way to the last round, right? So I appreciate everybody watching. The kids' season's not over yet. They each have hopefully 1, 2, maybe 3 tournaments left this year. I appreciate all the support you guys have given them. So thank you once again. Daniel, anything else to say before we close it out?
Yeah, I want to thank my mom and my dad and my sister for supporting me. And whoever subscribed, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. Catch you on the next one.